Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, a very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you all for joining today for Purushottama month program. We will sing Chaurashtakam. We will read chapter 15 Sanskrit verses and will also read English translation for these verses. Today's Chaurashtakam bhajan will be sung by Riya, is it? Or Preeti Mataji? Who's going to sing Chaurashtakam?
We both sing together is what you're thinking.
Okay, and then who's reading the Sanskrit verses today? Anybody?
Riya.
Who's reading the translations?
So Mataji, Neha will read the translations. So she'll be joining GitaWise classes this academic year. So
Sure. Yes, that will be very nice, Neha, to hear your voice. And first time you're speaking in GitaWise program, and that too with chapter 15 translation. That's amazing. Very nice and auspicious and blessing for you. All right, good job. So we'll get started with Preeti Mataji and Riya with the Chaurashtakam. I'll share my screen and then you can take it over to mom and child. Go ahead.
Vraje prasidham navanita chauram gopangananam chadukula chauram aneka janmarjita papa chauram chauragraganyam purusham namami Shiradikaya hridayasya chauram Navambudashyamalakanti chauram Padashritanam cha samasta chauram Chauragraganyam purusham namami Akinchani kritya padanshritam ya Karoti bhikshum patigehahinam Kenapyaho bhishana chaurayitri Drishtashuto vana jagatayepi Yadiyanama piharatya shesham Giri prasaranapi paparashin Ashcharya ruponanu chaurayitri Drishtashruto vanamaya kadapi Ganam cha manam cha tatendriyani Pranamscha hritva mama sarvameva Palayase kutra dhrutodya chaura Tvam bhakti damnasi maya niruddha Chinnatsi goram yama pasha bandham Vinnatsi bhimam bhava pasha bandham Chinnatsi sarvasya samasta bandham Naivatmano bhakta kritam tu bandham Manmanase tamasarashi gore Karagrahe dukkamaye nibadha Labhasvahe chaura hare chiraya Svachaurya doshochitam neva dandam Karagrahe vasa sada hridaye madhye Madbhakti pasha dhrida bandhana nishchalasan Tvam Krishna he Pralaya koti satantarepi Sarvasva chaura Hridayan nahi mochayami Vraje prasiddham navanita chauram Gopangananam chadukula chauram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Excellent singing. Yeah, you want to go ahead? Sorry. Yeah, continue.
Translation. I offer my respectful obeisances to that foremost of thieves, who is famous in Braja as the butter thief, and he who steals the gopis' clothes, and who, for those who take shelter of him, steals the sins which have accrued over many lifetimes. I offer my respectful obeisances to the foremost of thieves, who steals Srimati Radhika's heart, who steals the dark luster of a fresh rain cloud, and who steals all the sins and sufferings of those who take shelter of his feet. He turns his surrendered devotees into paupers and wandering homeless beggar. Alas, such a fearsome thief has never been seen or heard of in all the three worlds. Mere utterance of his name purges one of a mountain of sins. Such an astonishingly wonderful thief I have never seen or heard of anywhere. O thief, having stolen my wealth, my honor, my senses, my life, and my everything, where can you run to? I have caught you with the rope of my devotion. You cut the terrible noose of Yamaraja, you sever the dreadful noose of material existence, and you slash everyone's material bondage. But you are unable to cut the knot fastened by your own loving devotees. O stealer of my everything, O thief, today I have imprisoned you in the miserable prison house of my heart, which is very fearful due to the terrible darkness of my ignorance. And there for a very long time you will remain, receiving appropriate punishment for your crimes of thievery. O Krishna, thief of my everything, the noose of my devotion remaining forever tight, you will continue to reside in the prison house of my heart, because I will not release you for millions of eons.
Thank you very much, Preeti Mataji and Riya. Good job. We'll now move to chapter 15, constant recitation by Riya. Go ahead, Riya.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Urdhamoolamadaashakam Ashvatam Prahuravyayam Channamsi Yasya Parnani Yastam Vedasa Vedavit Adashurdham Prashitastasya Shaka Gunapravida Vishaya Pravalaha Adashchamulani Anusantatani Karmanubandini Manushya Loke Narupam Asheha Tatopalabhyate Nanto Nachade Nacha Sampratishta Ashvatam Enam Suvirudamulam Asanga Shastrena Didena Chitva Tatapadam Tat Parimargitavyam Yasmin Gatana Nivatanti Bhuyaha Tam Eva Chadyam Purusham Prapadye Yata Praviti Prashita Purani Nirmana Mohajita Sangadosha Adhyatmanitya Vinivritta Kamaha Dvande Vimukta Sukadaka Samnye Gachanti Amudaha Padam Avyayam Tat Natad Basayate Suryo Nashashanko Napavakaha Yad Katvana Nivartante Tadhama Paramam Mama Mama Ivamso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha Manaha Shashanindriyani Prakriti Stani Karshati Shariram yad avapnoti yad ukramatishvaraha grihitvaitani samyati vayurgandan ivashayat Shrotan chakshu sparshanam cha rasanam granam eva cha adhishtayam manaschayam vishayan upasevate Utkramantam sitam vapi punjanam vagananvitam vimudanan pashyanti jnana chakshushaha Yatanto yoginashainam pasyantyatmanavasthitam yatanto piyakatasmano nainam pasyantyachetasaha Yad adityagatam tejo jagadvasayate kilam yachandramasi yachagno tattejo vidhimamakam Kama vishyacha bhutani dharayamyaham ojasa pushnami cha sadihi sarvaha somo bhutva rasatmakaha Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashitaha Pranapana Samayuktaha Pachami Annam Chaturvedam सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो मता स्मृतिर्ज्ञानमुपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहम् एव वेद्यो वेदान्तकृत् वेदविद् एव चाहम् द्वाविमा पुरुषा लोके क्षरश्चाक्षर एव च क्षरः सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थोऽक्षर उच्यते उत्तमः पुरुषस्तन्यः परमात्मेति उदाहृतः यो लोकत्रयम् आविश्य बिभर्ति अव्ययीश्वरः यस्माक्षरम् अतीतोऽहम् अक्षरात् अपि चोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च प्रतीतः पुरुषोत्तमः यो माम् एवम् असम्मूढो जानाति पुरुषोत्तमं स सर्वविद् भजति मां सर्वभावेन भारत इति गुह्यतमं शास्त्रम् इदमुक्तं मया नघ एतद् बुद्ध्वा बुद्धिमान् स्यात् कृतकृत्यश्च भारत.
Very nice, Priya. Thank you. Now go to your sister. Go ahead, Neha.
Chapter 15 The Yoga of the Supreme Person. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, it is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. The branches of this tree extend downward and upward, nourished by the three modes of the material nature. The twigs are the objects of the senses. This tree also has roots going down, and these are bound to the fruitive actions of human society. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. But with determination, one must cut down this strongly rooted tree with the weapon of detachment. Thereafter, one must seek that place from which, having gone, one never returns, and there surrender to that Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom everything began and from whom everything has extended since time immemorial. Those who are free from false prestige, illusion, and false association, who understand the eternal, who are done with material lust, who are freed from the dualities of happiness and distress, who unbewildered know how to surrender unto the Supreme Person, attain to that eternal kingdom. That supreme abode of mine is not illumined by the sun or moon, nor by fire or electricity. Those who reach it never return to this material world. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to the conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. The living entity in the material world carries his different concepts of life from one body to another, as the air carries aromas. Thus, he takes one kind body and again quits it to take another. The living entity, thus taking another gross body, obtains a certain type of ear, eye, tongue, nose, and sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind. He thus enjoys a particular sense of sense objects. The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. The endeavoring transcendentalists, who are situated in self-realization, can see all this clearly. But those whose minds are not developed and who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place, though they may try. The splendor of the sun, which dissipates the darkness of this whole world, comes from me, and the splendor of the moon and the splendor of fire also from me. I enter into each planet, and by my energy they stay in orbit. I become the moon and thereby supply of the juice of life to all vegetables. I am the fire of digestion in the body of all living entities, and I join with the air of life, outgoing and incoming, to digest the four kinds of foodstuff. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. There are two classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, every living entity is fallible, and in the spiritual world, every living entity is called infallible. Besides these two, there is the greatest living personality, the Supreme Soul, the imperishable Lord Himself, who has entered the three worlds and is maintaining them. Because I am transcendental beyond both the fallible and the infallible, and because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as that Supreme Person. Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is the knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me, O son of Bharata. This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures, O sinless one, and it is now disclosed by me. Whoever understands this will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Neha, you read so nicely. Did you practice? There are so many hard words in this chapter. How did you pronounce all of them? Transcendental, endeavor, supreme personality, so many hard words. How did you do it?
I practiced.
Amazing. Very nice. Good job. So you're teaching all of us that we all need to practice before we do any presentation or anything. Yes. And you proved that by practice, we all can do good. Thank you so much. Good job. All right, now we are at 8:18. Anybody want to sing any other bhajan or want to say or share any realizations? I want to discuss any points from this chapter. Are you all able to recollect any verses from memory? We've been reading 18 days. So it is 1 or 2 verses. Are you all able to recollect or what do you say, memorize? Did you all memorize? Or what are the points that are sticking like to your mind, like whenever you read the translations, which is the point that stands out for you?
Why? No, I'll take it. Thanks.
For me, it is fallible and infallible. That is
Fallible and
main
infallible.
point.
And Krishna is beyond all that. For me, all the places where Krishna says that I am the fire of digestion, I'm the one who's positioning all the planets in the orbits, right? And he's telling how he's the sunshine and the moonshine. And he says, Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loki, from me, every living entity emanates. All that information is like, and then he says, one who comes to this spiritual world, he says, Nadad bhasete suranas shanko na pavakaha, yad gatvana nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. He says in that verse that the spiritual sky or the planet where Krishna resides does not need sun or moon. And whoever comes to that planet never comes back, is guaranteeing in that verse. And then Krishna says, of course, the famous verse 15:15, Sarvasya chaham hridisan. I think we all should memorize this. Sarvasya chaham hridisan nivishto matta smritir gnanam apohanam cha vedaischa sarvairahameva vedyo vedanta kritveda videva chaham. And then, of course, the last verse, what does Krishna say? One who knows this knowledge, what does he do? He's sin, and he says, oh, sinless one. He tells Krishna, Arjuna, sinless one. And he says, I'm disclosing this knowledge to you because you are sinless. And then whoever understands this knowledge, what happens? They become wise and their endeavors have become perfect. We all have endeavors, isn't it, in our day? Even on a daily basis, we have endeavors. Like, okay, every night, I think before going to bed, mom is thinking, what do I pack for my child for tomorrow's lunch? What do I pack snack? Then to have their everything ready for them. Are there books in their bag? Is everything ready? That's all mom is thinking the night before the child goes to school. I don't think of those now because my boys are out of home. But I remember thinking of those things, right? So those are all endeavors. And Krishna is telling in the last verse of this chapter that one who understands this topmost confidential knowledge, their endeavors have perfection. Why? Because one who understands this knowledge, one who gains this knowledge and who understands the essence of the message that Krishna is giving, especially in this chapter, for him, he thinks that the means, the goal, and the process is nothing other than Krishna. Right? So his consciousness is always revolving and thinking about Krishna, and any activity he or she does will have something related with Krishna. It will be an endeavor for Krishna. Whether we go to school, college, cook, we do our family chores, or we do our office work, whatever we do, it's all about how do I please Krishna with this activity? Isn't it so? There is a difference in doing an activity, thinking about how do I please Krishna with this activity, and thinking about just doing it. Isn't it so? Just like a child is making a Mother's Day gift or a Father's Day gift. And if they do it like, how do I please my dad with this gift? Or how do I please my mom with this gift? Maybe it's a card. They're drawing a card, they're writing something nice for their parents. And if they think, oh, I have to do a Mother's Day gift, I will do. Because it's told to do, Mother's Day, everybody gives gifts, so I will also give. That's one way of doing. The other way of doing is, I want to do it because I want to please my mom and dad. With that consciousness, when the child does that activity, there's going to be a lot of difference in that outcome, isn't it so? I'm telling about Mother's Day or Father's Day gift because we can relate that way, correct? Even we are children, we have parents, we had the experience of parents, and we have the experience of being parents. So when we do that activity with the mood of pleasing that person for whom the activity is being done, as opposed to doing it just for the sake of doing, that's when the difference in that activity comes. And that's what Krishna says. One who understands this knowledge, the most secretive, confidential knowledge that is given in chapter 15, what does he or she do? Their goals are so different from doing the same activities otherwise. And because of that difference in the goals and consciousness, Krishna says that they are wise and their endeavors see perfection. For us, perfection of our endeavors means maybe I should win a competition, maybe I should get some XYZ amount of salary, maybe I should get some position, or maybe I should be recognized. These are all maybe endeavor perfection symbols or perfection definitions for us. But definition of perfection, according to what Shastras tell, especially Bhagavad Gita says, for human life is to love Krishna, to please Krishna. That is the definition of perfection, of our endeavors becoming perfect. And again, this is not something which I'm concocting or which somebody is telling. It's Krishna's own words. Krishna is telling what is the definition of a perfect endeavor. We all look in so many books, success books, or how to become successful, how to live a happy life, or how to earn $1 million, or whatever. There'll be so many books which can help us, or we're looking for so many books. I mean, unless there are readers, the authors wouldn't write those books, isn't it so? But here we have the supreme author, the absolute author, who's defining what perfection of an endeavor is, the success recipe, the recipe for being successful, the recipe for being victorious, a recipe for being perfect in our endeavors, given by the absolute person. So when absolute source is there with absolute information, given by absolute personality, why do we have to go here and there? And the most important thing is that this absolute knowledge is not at all complicated. Generally, whenever something is of much value, there's a lot of complications in that, right? In terms of endeavoring in material world only you see. Like if there's something of highest value, to achieve it, you have to work very hard, or you have to do so many different things. But Bhagavad Gita knowledge is the highest value, but we don't have to do anything complicated. It's as simple as getting together at 8 p.m. in the month of Purushottama and listening to chapter 15 and listening attentively to the translations. That is as simple as it. See how fortunate we are. Krishna is giving this absolute perfect knowledge in such a simple way. And on top of it, also creating this Purushottama month and all that, just to facilitate it for us. Right? And intelligence is of those people who make the best out of these opportunities that Krishna is giving us. So congratulations to all of you for being so intelligent and using this opportunity for knowing the definition of what a perfect endeavor is. Right? Now we know what it is, and therefore we have to now put it into practice. If not, it is as good as listening from this year and sending out of this year. Right? It is the time that was spent was well spent. It's the mode of goodness, but it becomes in the mode of pure goodness when we use that information and apply it in our lives. It's not good enough until we apply it in our lives. So let's all sincerely pray to Lord Krishna that, oh Lord Sri Krishna, for giving us this wonderful opportunity to read chapter 15 and its translation, may you please bless us with the intelligence to make the right choices so that we can live by the values that you are giving us in Bhagavad Gita. We're completely dependent on you, Lord Sri Krishna, and we beg you to shower your mercy so that we are able to understand this knowledge and implement in our lives. On that note, let's sign off for today. See you all tomorrow, same place, same time. Until then, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you all. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.